Adobe Premiere is a simple video editing software, and most video editing softwares are quite similar, so even if this is specific for Premiere, much of the concepts are very similar to other video editors. When you start Premiere, you go to this screen here. If you have used Premiere before and you have previous files, then you have those here, recent projects. Or you can open a project from the hard drive, or you create a new project. And projects in Adobe is files, simply. So if I create a new file, a new project, it looks like this. And of course I need to place this on the hard drive. I put it on my D drive. In a folder that I've created that is called Demo. And the reason why I'll talk about the folders are that it is a little bit important in Premiere to keep track of the files that you're using. I will get back to that very shortly. But I select a specific folder on the hard drive. And then at the bottom here, I need to give the project or the file a name. So let's call it Demo. And the other settings here, you can usually use the defaults. The next step is to tell Premiere to create the first sequence in the file. And the sequence inside Premiere is it's a movie sequence. So instead of sequence, you could have called it movie. So let's call this demo movie, for example. You can have many movies inside Premiere, and each movie or each sequence need to have has a specific video setting. So each movie, each sequence have specified what kind of image size, the number of frames per second, and so on. And this is called video standards. And in the list here to the left, you have many presets of these video standards. And as you see, there are lots to choose between. But to make it a little bit more easy, you could say that if you are shooting with an old mini DV camera or a DV camera, then you probably shoot in the old TV standard PAL, at least in Europe. So here is the DV PAL, the European old TV standard. And if we select standard screen size and 48 kilohertz here for the sound, then we'll see that this is 25 frames per second. It is 720 times 576 frames. Pixels, I mean, that is the size of the image frame. It is 720 pixels wide and 576 pixels in height. And that is the old TV standard. And of course we are moving away from that now quite much, since more and more people use high definition TVs. And if we want to use high definition, we have lots of different presets for that one. We have, for example, the HVC HD. and we have 1080p, 1080p 25. It doesn't matter so much which of these you choose actually. The P stands for progressive, that is full frames. The 1080 or 1080 stands for the resolution, the image size that the high definition have. And 1080 is the highest image size, the full high definition. Then we have kind of half HD, half high def, and that is this 720p. But most cameras today are shooting in full high def, so for most cameras this one would work quite well. The HVC HD 1080p 25. But of course you need to check your camera and see what kind of video format that it records in. And if it is an old camera, then it's probably PAL standard settings. Actually, sometimes or quite often when I edit movies, even if I shot it on high def, I sometimes edit it in PAL anyway. And the reason for that is that when I edit movies, I usually publish them online, and it is quite important to get the file size down. Of course, you can edit in high def and then publish it at YouTube, for example, in high def. But I prefer to publish in PAL resolution. Usually you don't need all that high def resolution. And if you edit in lower resolution, it is also quicker in Premiere, because editing high def is quite demanding for the computer. It is a lot of data that the computer needs to manage. So it's easier for the computer to edit in low resolution in PAL also. So that is also a reason to actually edit in PAL. But of course you can edit in high def if you want the final result to be high def. By the way, that goes for if you want to publish on a DVD as well, because of course it is possible to create a Blu-ray DVD, and Blu-ray is high def, and if you are going to make a Blu-ray DVD, then of course you need to edit in high definition. But for most of us, most computers don't have the capability to create a Blu-ray DVD. So for most of us, we still have to make the old DVD. And then we can just as well edit in PAL, because what you have on the old DVD standard is the PAL resolution, the PAL video standard. So if you're going to publish online or on a DVD, then it is actually a quite good idea to edit in PAL. So that is the one that I select here. And then we open up Premiere itself. And what I got up here is this sequence that I created. So this sequence up here, that one is, as we can see here in the data here, it is 720 times 576, it is 25 frames per second, and you got some more data about it also. So this is a PAL sequence. If I want to edit a sequence with high definition, I can make another sequence here in the same project. So if I right-click here and select New Item and go to Sequence, then I can create a new sequence. And this one can be a high-def sequence instead. And OK on that one. So now I got 2 sequences that I can edit in. As you saw here, I did this by right-clicking, and then in the context menu I chose the stuff that I wanted. And I work mostly with right-click or with shortcuts. Of course, you have all things up here in the menu also. And sometimes I will show stuff in the menu, but often it is quicker to use the shortcuts or right-click in the Premiere interface.